You mustn't come to the funeral. My husband Roger shouted at me when he learned that his father had passed away after a long illness. What wife doesn't attend her father-in-law's funeral? Roger sighed deeply after hanging up the phone. Was that real? Did you hear that? His condition must have worsened suddenly. The caller was his Uncle Terry. The events leading up to Roger's father's passing happened so quickly that Uncle Terry didn't even have time to call Roger sooner. The funeral was scheduled for the day after tomorrow. Roger seemed quite flustered by the sudden news. Watching him with concern, I softly spoke, "I'll come with you to the funeral." His response was unexpected. "No, you absolutely can't come." "Huh? Why? It's obvious that I should go, right?" "Shut up. Just listen to what I say and keep your mouth shut." Roger stormed off to his room, hastily packing his suit and a change of clothes. "But why? Can you tell me why?" "Shut up. I'm going to stay at my parents' house until the funeral is over. Just remember, you must not come to the funeral." "Wait, hold on a minute." Despite my protests, Roger was adamant, and I couldn't understand why. On the day of the funeral, I sneaked in to observe, and there he was, seated with a woman I didn't recognize at the bereaved family's side. What on earth is going on? Who is that woman? I was shocked and confused, unable to grasp what was happening, but soon I would learn the unsettling truth. "I'm Catherine, 30 years old. I married Roger, a 35-year-old office worker, 3 years ago. We don't have any kids yet. Roger often travels for work, only coming home about 3 days a week. While he is away, I devote myself to my hobby of drawing comics. On his days off, we go shopping together, watch movies, and enjoy our time as a couple. Roger's mother passed away when he was a child, and his father raised him and his sister Sarah single-handedly. In the early days of our marriage, we would often visit Roger's family, a 2-hour drive away. But when his father fell seriously ill a year ago, our visits gradually decreased. Roger told me, "Dad doesn't want you to see him in his emaciated state," so I refrained from visiting. One day, a call came in on Roger's mobile after he returned from work. "Oh, Dad has passed away." Upon hearing that, I stopped preparing dinner. Disregarding my rising panic, Roger left the house without a word. It's customary for a wife to attend her father-in-law's funeral, so why was I being denied that right? Frustration and confusion gnawed at me as I grappled with the situation. Unable to shake off my unease, I reached out to my sister-in-law, Sarah, despite our usual lack of communication, but her response was oddly distant, adding another layer to my bewilderment. "How did you find out about Dad, Catherine?" Roger told me. He's quick to reach out, isn't he?" Sarah's tone was cryptic, leaving me even more puzzled. But I couldn't dwell on it. Despite Roger's insistence for me to stay away, I felt compelled to pay my respects at the funeral. "I understand your wish, Catherine, but it might be for the best if you don't attend." "Why not?" "He's my father-in-law. I need to say goodbye." After persistent pleading, Sarah finally relented with a cautionary condition. "Fine, but don't let Roger know, okay?" With the location and time reluctantly shared, she added, "Come late and keep a low profile." Though bewildered by her secrecy, I secured bereavement leave from work and resolved to attend. As instructed, I arrived fashionably late at the funeral. To my astonishment, an unfamiliar woman occupied the seat beside Roger, reserved for the chief mourner. Who is she? Why is she here? Confusion clouded my thoughts as I retreated to the back row, only to catch whispers ahead. "Isn't that the woman?" Whispers surrounded me like a relentless storm, revealing truths I never fathomed. Roger's new wife, Lucy. Poor Roger, his previous wife apparently handed him divorce papers and just left. The voices murmured. Shock pulsed through me, intensifying as other attendees speculated about affairs and debts, their words slicing through the air. I staggered under the weight of the revelations. Divorce papers, affair accusations, none of it made sense. Roger and I had never discussed separation. Yet here I was, confronted with the harsh reality of his remarriage. The rumors painted a picture I struggled to comprehend. The woman beside Roger, Lucy, appeared young, her swollen belly hinting at impending motherhood beneath her somber attire. Amidst the whispers, I realized the depths of betrayal. As I rose to pay my respects, the once silent room erupted with judgment and disdain. "She has the audacity to show her face here." The murmurs followed me, cutting deeper with each step toward Roger. His ashen expression betrayed his guilt as our eyes met. But Lucy remained unperturbed, a stark contrast to Roger's turmoil. Paying my final respects, I fled the suffocating atmosphere of the funeral home, seeking solace in the stark halls of the city hall. With trembling hands, I retrieved our family register, my worst fears confirmed in the stark declaration, de registration, marking our divorce 5 months prior. Fury surged within me, drowning out the chaos of emotions. How could he? The betrayal seared through my soul, igniting a resolve for vengeance. With gritted teeth and a heart heavy with betrayal, I vowed to make him pay for his deceit. Days passed with no sign of Roger, no word of explanation. Hadn't he promised to return home after the funeral? My frustration grew, but I resisted the urge to confront him, opting instead to await his next move. Why would he orchestrate a clandestine divorce and remarriage while still living under our roof? There had to be more to this than met the eye. Recalling Roger's late-night activities, I powered up my computer, driven by a nagging suspicion. His secretive behavior hinted at something deeper. A quick dive into his browsing history revealed a blog titled Roger the Dragon King's Wild Diary. Though devoid of his face, the familiar surroundings of our home left no doubt. It was his. Each entry unveiled his machinations, igniting a fiery rage within me. So that's his game. With a plan forming, I reached out to Sarah in another alley, laying the groundwork for my retaliation. Every detail meticulously arranged, anticipation simmered beneath my skin as I awaited the day of reckoning. Standing before Roger's new abode on the appointed day, anticipation thrummed through me. As a delivery truck pulled up, Lucy emerged from the house, her excitement palpable at the sight of the arriving packages. "What the hell is this? Whose packages are these?" "Hey, darling." Lucy's voice pierced the air, drawing Roger's attention as he emerged from the house. His eyes widened at the sight of the multitude of cardboard boxes, his demeanor shifting with sudden suspicion as he approached to inspect the sender's name. "Who's it from?" he muttered, his arms instinctively moving to shield the packages from view. But there was no hiding the truth. With ex-wife heart boldly emblazoned as the sender, Roger's facade crumbled, his discomfort evident. "Ex-wife? What's this about?" Lucy's confusion mirrored my own, her gaze flickering between Roger and the mysterious packages. Roger's response was evasive as he hastily settled the delivery fee of $200. Locking eyes with me, lurking in the shadows nearby, his discomfort intensified. "What are you doing here?" His voice quivered with a mixture of anger and apprehension. "I got your address from Sarah," I replied calmly, turning to Lucy with a warm smile. "Nice to meet you, Lucy. I'm Catherine, Roger's ex-wife, the one who sent these packages." The revelation hit Lucy like a thunderbolt. As I presented our marriage certificate, her shock was palpable. Yet she welcomed me inside, urging us to avoid causing a scene. In the sanctuary of their living room, I addressed Lucy, disregarding Roger's trembling presence beside her. "When did you start dating Roger?" "About a year ago. He told me he was single." "I can't believe this," Lucy confessed, her disbelief echoing my own. "It's quite the revelation, isn't it?" "Seems Roger deceived us both," I remarked, a bitter edge tainting my tone. Lucy attempted to downplay the situation. "Oh, come on, it's probably just a misunderstanding, right?" Her forced laughter belied the gravity of the deception. I stood there, utterly speechless at my husband's callous laughter and blatant lack of remorse. "It's unacceptable that you filed for divorce without my consent. I'm suing you for $30,000 in alimony. You've been cheating, so it's only fair, right?" My words were tinged with righteous indignation. "Why should I have to pay that?" Roger's voice crackled with anger, his defiance palpable. But while he seethed, Lucy remained surprisingly composed. "Don't be so stingy, darling. Just pay her. $30,000 is nothing for you, right? You're the boss," she chimed in casually. I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Lucy's assumption about Roger's status as the boss was wildly off base. "Who's the boss, Lucy?" "Roger's just a regular office worker," I interjected, unable to contain my amusement. Lucy's confusion mirrored my own. "What? Roger, what's going on?" Sweat beads dotted Roger's forehead as he scrambled for excuses. "Lucy, I'm sorry for lying, but when my father passed away, I inherited a significant sum of money." His feeble attempt at explanation only fueled my bitter laughter. His delusions were laid bare for all to see. With a bitter laugh, I slapped the printed pages of his incriminating blog onto the table. the damning evidence of his deceit. As the doorbell rang, Roger nervously answered the door to his Uncle Terry, who stood on the threshold, a stern expression etched upon his face. "There's no way you'd inherit anything, you idiot," Terry declared bluntly. I had arranged for Terry to witness the unfolding drama, calling him beforehand to listen in on our conversation. "You told the family Catherine left you after cheating and filing for divorce, didn't you?" Terry's accusation hung heavy in the air, leaving Roger stammering for an explanation. Roger's attempts at deflection only fueled my disgust, and it seemed Lucy shared my sentiment. "You told me you were a CEO. That's why I went with you. I got no use for a poor man," Lucy spat, her disillusionment evident. "Lucy, please, our baby's about to be born," Roger pleaded, his desperation palpable. But Lucy's resolve remained unyielding. "I'll raise the child on my own. All I need from you is alimony and child support." Roger's tears flowed freely, but I refused to let him off easy. "You'll also have to pay me alimony," I declared firmly. Roger's protests grew frantic. "That's impossible. Catherine, please, let's give it another try. We can work together to repay the debt." The audacity of his plea left me reeling. "You filed for divorce, and now you want to remarry?" My anger surged, and I shook him off, turning to leave with Terry by my side. "Please, Catherine, I'm begging you," Roger pleaded, desperation lacing his voice. But I had reached my limit. "Are you kidding me?" My words dripped with fury as I stormed out of the house, leaving Roger behind in a whirlwind of his own making. After serving my ex-husband with divorce papers, Lucy demanded $20,000 in alimony and $500 a month in child support. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law Sarah informed me that Roger was drowning in debt from the mortgage on his house, with Lucy working tirelessly to make ends meet. In contrast, I relished my newfound freedom. Sarah, once my sister-in-law, had become a cherished friend, and our time together was filled with laughter and camaraderie. On top of that, a comic strip inspired by my ex-husband's blog garnered significant attention on social media, and I was preparing to publish it. Immersed in contemplating titles for the comic, I reveled in the joy of my transformed daily life.